Well, John Holdren, Obama science advisor, has just hit Stu where he lives.
Yeah, no, this
Stu
is the sort
lives.
of crap I like.
Yeah, this is great stuff.
Look, there's a couple of parts of this that are interesting, and let's show the actual graph where they show the temperature. Now, this is in the middle of this. This is all they're just popping up graphs all over, and this one pops up in the upper right-hand corner, and it just goes away.
It's supposed to show that the Arctic and the mid-level region that he was talking about, like the United States, are getting closer together in temperature.
Right, and what this is, essentially, is just the temperature, and they're saying, okay, it's getting warmer. They want to send this as a subliminal signal. As you're watching this and you're hearing him speak, look at this. I mean, look at the line. It's going way up, and it clearly is. I mean, it's a line that's increasing. It looks like it's increasing pretty darn fast. Now, there's 100 things to point out on this chart, but let me just give you a couple. Number one, the start date is 1978. 1978 is an interesting date to start it. Basically, in 1978, this is the time where John Holdren and his contemporaries were saying there was a global ice age coming. The reason they started in 1978 is because it's colder than it was back here. If you started it back here, it wouldn't look like it was warming that much at all. But they started it in 1978. Now, this is satellite records, so that is about the time that they started. But they selected satellite records, I believe, intentionally, because this is there was cooling here between about 1940 and in the mid-1970s. So they started in 1978. They used this chart to show how dramatic the warming is. Now, let's go beyond that. Here's zero. Why is the first temperature well below zero? They want this line to look more dramatic. If you see, the end line is not much above zero at all. Zero is, you would think the average of the entire time. Now, here's another part. Here is this is where the line starts, okay? This is the end, the red line. This is the line you're supposed to look at. Why is the red line up there? Well, let's look at where the temperature actually is. Here's where the temperature actually is, right there. Now, if you look at this and you follow the line all the way over here, we're at the same temperature that it was in 1978, 1979.
It's amazing.
And one more additional thing is, if you want to start fooling with when you're going to pick the starting dates, how about let's start the starting date right here in 1998, where the temperature's the warmest, and look at that trend. This is where the temperature is now. And that's 1998, the warmest year on record. I mean,
it's even straight down, almost straight down.
Take this red line out for a second and look at the chart. If anything, you haven't seen any warming, obviously, since 1998. But even when you go back to, this is where the temperature is basically bunching now, right around here, you're going back the entire history of the temperature record that they're showing you, and there's very little below where we are right now. And this is the sort of manipulation they use all the time on these charts. And we could go through 10 other issues with it as well. Now, look, the satellite temperature is among the most accurate. I would say it's the most dependable record. But when you look at that and you make a giant trend that it's shooting straight up like that, it gives you the impression that things are much worse than they actually are.
Look at one other thing is the angle at which they do this. It's not straight across like that, because that would lower this ever so slightly. They tilt it back so that this goes up higher.
That's a great...
That
is a great point, Pat.
I mean, they've done so many dishonest things in this graph, it's really hard to know where to start.
Yeah. That's interesting. It is. The whole chart is sort of...
it's tilted to make it look worse.
And this is how you can tell. Look here. Look how close the line is here to the monitor.
Right.
It gets bigger and 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 bigger.
You're
right. I didn't even pick that up. That's a great pick. Now,
they tilted it quite a bit.
Yeah. Look at the difference here. The difference here.
And then they only show it for a second, so you don't pick up on any of that when you first watch it. But if you freeze frame...
This is 1 inch here. 1 inch the difference.
1 inch.
They tilted it so that over here, it's almost 4 inches.
That's
a great pickup, Pat.
I mean, the whole thing is so unbelievably dishonest.
Yeah. Now, can we...